Hello and welcome. This is Sandra Hart. Today it is the power of words. The power of words. Words are seeds that do more than blow around. They land in our hearts and not the ground. Be careful what you plant and careful what you say. My task, which I'm trying to achieve, is by the power of the written word to make you hear and to make you feel, and above all, to make you see. Hello, this is Sandra Hart, and thank you so much for joining me today for this second half of the Purposeful Gathering series. And today it's going to be all about words. What is your favorite word? Your very, very favorite word in the whole wide world that stimulates your emotions and that makes you happy. I'm going to read to you the definition of word from the dictionary. A single distinct meaning, an element of speech or writing used with others. So that's more or less what we are. We are each universal and unique people, and we are gathered together to make a sentence, or to make a statement, or to make intelligent and interesting conversation today. Words. Wow. Simple word, and when you say it, word, doesn't sound so exciting, does it? But actually, word is the most powerful thing in the world. It's the way we connect with one another. It's the way we communicate with each other. So words have power beyond anything that you could imagine. It really is the singular most powerful element in the world because it can do so many things. It could make us feel wonderful. It can hurt us. It make us feel ashamed. Words can make us feel sad. So all of these things come together in that just simple thing, W-O-R-D. Now I call the word, it has 7 different things that I call the 7 H's. Words have energy and power and the ability to help, to heal, to hinder, to hurt, to harm, to humiliate, and to humble. Now on your worksheet, you have a page with a lot of different nouns and adjectives that may or may not relate to you. Maybe it would be those in one side that you feel within yourself, this is what I am. These words really relate to me personally. And on the negative side, some of those words perhaps are words that people have said to you through your life that have been negative and have affected you and who you are today because of those very early words as a young person that sunk in deeply like a sponge and really affected you. Now, those words that we sink in as children and as young adults either can be hurtful or they can be very, very powerful. And I'm going to give you an experience. And I want you to look at your worksheet and to look at those words and to write down in each section which words you think apply to you. And maybe there are others that apply to you that you can add into the worksheet space. I have spoken to a couple of friends of mine throughout the years in casual conversations, and at least 3 of us have had similar experiences that really changed our lives. And I'm going to share something very personal with you today. And I want you to think about your life while I'm telling this story. When I was in the 6th grade, I was so happy and confident. I felt so good about myself. I was a 6th grade cheerleader, and I had a lot of friends, and I really felt that life was so jolly. Everything in my life was wonderful. Then one day, while walking home from an afternoon, or it was a morning football game of our young 6th grade football team, my girlfriends and I would walk one another to our homes. We'd say goodbye and then walk along until there was only one left and she would go into her house. Well, they all decided that they were going to walk me home first to my house. So as I was standing there saying goodbye, they said, "You know what? You're really stuck up." I was devastated. And then they started telling me how my house looked different than everybody else's house, and why did I always, win all the contests at school, and they went on and on and on. Well, it hurt me so much. All these girls, I think there were about 5 or 6 of us all together. I thought they were my best friends. And I never even thought about any of the words they were throwing at me or any of the hateful things that they were throwing at me. And it sunk so deep into my psyche that I ran up the cement stairs and walked across my porch. And I went in the house up into my bedroom, and I cried and I cried. How could these girls be my friends? How could they think that I was this person? And it made me feel so bad that I never ever shared it with my mother or anyone until later on, and I started writing a blog about feelings and about things that happened, and then I opened up and I told the story. And since then, as I said, I have had about 3 of my friends say that they had similar experiences either as a young girl or as a teenager where their supposed friends ganged up on them and said very hateful things. Well, as an adult, I can look back at it and I can see that they were probably jealous of maybe, we had antique furniture in our house because my parents inherited them, and they were not, the 1950s type of furniture. And I was a happy child. I just loved everybody, and I was loved by my parents. So those girls, in a way, didn't have that at home. So they took it out on me in a form of jealousy. But at that time, as a child, I didn't realize that. And they say that your mind and body go together, and your mind has a lot to do with how you think and your health. Well, I can't really put 2 and 2 together, but right about 3 or 4 months after that incident, I got very sick and I got rheumatic fever, and I was bedridden for about 4 months at home. So I think quite possibly I delved into a deep depression that maybe affected my immune system, and I became very ill. So words truly have a power of healing and helping, or they can be quite destructive. That's why as an adult how important it is to teach our children and our grandchildren the power of words, and how, like my father would say to me always, if you can't say something nice, don't say it at all. So this is how powerful words are. Have you ever had an experience like that in your life that maybe changed your life? Because after this happened to me also, I became very introverted and very shy. And that lasted throughout my years in high school, and it was only till I got into college that I really was able to find myself and blossom and let go of those negative stereotypes that my young friends put upon me. So I want you to recall perhaps a moment in your life where words have changed your life, either positive or negative. They're very powerful and can work both ways. Yeah, I'm reminded of the old adage, sticks and stones will break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Well, that's not always true, especially when we're young. And even as we are older, I know people have said to me, and once in a while we'll get comments on YouTube, and I know my other creators will agree with me, that really hurt. I've been pretty lucky. I haven't had too many, but once in a while I'll get someone with a snarky comment or an answer, and actually it does hurt, because most of our creators that were on here, we're all on here to give a positive message and to give entertainment or information to all of our subscribers. Gary Chapman, in his book, Love is a Way of Life, uses words to bring together a metaphor of bullets and seeds. Now, of course, you know what bullets are. Bullets hurt. They can kill you. They can make you feel really bad. And they're so, so destructive. And yet there are words in our vocabulary and words that you can express to other people that are like seeds. When you plant them in somebody, they make them grow. They make them grow into a better person. They make them grow with ideas, with self-esteem, with pride, with pleasure. That's why words really do have the power to change our lives, either for the negative or for the positive. I want you to take your worksheet now, or if you just have a piece of paper, I want you to write these words down. I love you. 3 words that are really so important, aren't they? Now, when you write these words, after you write them, I want you to say them out loud. I love you. I love you. How does that make you feel? How does that make you feel when someone writes you a letter or text and they say, I love you? How does it make you feel when someone says those 3 simple words to you put together, I love you? Whether it's from your parents, or whether it's from your husband, a friend, or your children. I think those 3 words are probably the most powerful words in the universe, because they warm our hearts and they make us feel good. This stay-in-place situation that we are in, and I know I kind of talked about this yesterday, it really is a very, very lonely place to be. And until perhaps I have experienced this on a real basis, I know how important it is to have contact with humans and to use my words as dialogue and to exchange feelings and pleasures. And I know the most wonderful thing when I do a FaceTime with my children is at the end they say, I love you, Mother. I love you. Those, at my age, are the most important words probably my family can say to me. And of course, throughout my lifetime, when I have had those words expressed to me, they're absolutely wonderful. I want you to think about that. When have those words meant a lot to you? And did they change the way you feel about something? And did that change the way you feel about you? All right, now I was going to do a visual with this next segment, but I'm going to ask you to do something that is very different on YouTube, because in YouTube we're very visual and we watch everything that's going on. But I want you, just for a moment, to close your eyes. Yeah, I want you to close your eyes and listen to what I'm going to say. I'm going to read you a poem, and you probably all have perhaps studied this poem in class, by the American poet Robert Frost. And it's stopping by the woods on a snowy evening. Now, while I read this, I want you to close your eyes so that all of your senses are right here, so that you're listening and see how it translates down here into your heart. Those woods, these are, I think I know. His house is in the village, though. He will not see me stopping here to watch his woods fill up with snow. My little horse must think it queer to stop without a farmhouse near, between the woods and frozen lake. Ah, the darkest evening of the year. He gives his harness bells a shake to ask if there is some mistake. The only other sounds the sweep of easy wind and downy flake. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. Robert Frost. Okay, you can open your eyes now, unless you cheated. Did those words mean something to you? When you closed your eyes, were you able to do what we talked about yesterday? Were you able to use your imagination and go somewhere else? Were you able to put yourself in that wooded path with the wind blowing and the snow coming down, and hearing the bells of his little horse shake his head saying, what am I doing here? Why are you stopping? We have such a long trip to go. Were you able to use that imagination with those words and take yourself to another place? So that's why imagination and words go so closely together. We put these single little words, I, me, mine, you, here, come, love, hate, beautiful, ugly. We put these words together into sentences that affect someone. Whatever comes out of your mouth and is directed toward another human affects them in some way. So why not have your words be positive, constructive, building self-esteem, rather than the negative, hateful bullets that can be shot out? Now, I know there are times when we lose our self-control that we should have as adults, but it happens. And we spew out words that are so hurtful. But once those bullets leave your body and your mouth, once those bullets fly out, you can't take them back. You cannot take them back. And if I can give you any kind of advice, think twice. Always step back, use that self-control, and think twice about your words and what they're going to do to other people. And this basically is for you, because we're doing this together and having this conversation. But your words have so much power on how you feel about yourself and how you think and how you're going to move forward in the future. Your words can define who you are. So you have the choice, either to have positive words about who you are, positive thoughts about the future and what is going to happen to you, or you can have those destructive bullets. Seeds are positive, bullets are negative. You can have those negative bullets that shoot out, and either you point toward yourself or toward others. So, I don't know about you, but I'd rather plant seeds. I had so many wonderful comments from some of my subscribers who put comments in the last thing we did about imagination, and many of them are gardeners, and they love planting seeds, and they love seeing these beautiful creations and life forms grow from their seeds. So let's all think that our words are all a part of a garden. Our lifetime of words, whether it's just conversations, poetry, plays, whatever and however you use your words to your best ability, instructing people, teaching people, making people feel good. Let's try to use our words and think of them in our imagination as a garden, a beautiful place where we can go to not only help ourselves, but help others. Let's use those words in the most powerful way for the rest of our lives that we can, and teach our children and our grandchildren the importance of positive words that they think about themselves and that they say about themselves, and positive words that they can share with others to lift them up. You can breathe something wonderful in someone's life and in your life. So don't forget, again, please don't waste it. Thank you so much. This is the last part of my two-part series of Purposeful Gatherings. I know this has not been for everyone, but it was something that I really wanted to do. I wanted to have deeper conversations about things that we normally have here on YouTube. Thank you so much, everyone, for downloading the Purposeful Gathering worksheet. I hope you will keep them and add to them as you go along. Put your own thoughts in there. And for those people who felt that they wanted to donate, thank you so very much. And it will go to a very good cause. That's it. Thank you. And we're in this together, in this stay-at-home process. So let's make the best of it. And please, as I said, use kind words for yourself. Be kind to strangers who may cross your path. Pick up the phone and call someone today and make them feel very special with your words. And know that I love you, and I thank you so much for participating in this conversation. As I said before, I know it wasn't for everyone, but I really enjoyed it, and I am going to try to do a live get-together, probably maybe at the end of this week if I can. And we'll just get together just to talk about everything. It doesn't have to be imagination, or it doesn't have to be about words. It just will be a wonderful get-together so that we all can share and change ideas. So thank you. And if you want to join my Facebook page, go on over there. It's Purposeful Gatherings with Sandra Hart. But in the meantime, know that I care, and I am so ever so grateful for allowing my channel to grow the way that it has, and for all the wonderful comments. I read each and every one of them, and believe me, they have really expanded my life, and they mean so much to me. Thank you. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you probably next Tuesday.